Listen to air traffic and two airline pilots discuss UFO encounter in midair. Air Shuttle 5959, that's affirmative and it's a light that kind of, it goes dim and it gets bright. I don't know if we're getting closer to it or what, but it looks like a rotating light around it, like a Frisbee type thing that's going around it. People are no longer afraid to speak about UFOs, and it seems that all stereotypes have disappeared, as scientists, the military, and the government are more and more interested in these strange objects. But UFOs are nothing novel. In fact, reports about strange lights, disc-shaped objects, and similar unexplainable flying vehicles have existed for decades. In fact, there are even reports of sightings that can be traced back hundreds of years ago. Recently, the U.S. Congress implied that UFOs are extraterrestrial technology. Although extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence, what if we already have evidence of that? The best examples, perhaps, are the declassified Navy videos that show objects that apparently have no visible means of propulsion, no wings, exhaust, or anything that can be attributed to human technology. While the Navy pilots had the technology and equipment to follow and even film the enigmatic objects, there are many, many more encounters between pilots and objects that seemingly defy explanation. One such case took place on February 28, 1996, when the crew of Air Shuttle Flight 5959 reported seeing an unidentified flying object. While cruising not far from Cleveland, the cabin crew noticed an unidentified, lighted object flying just beneath them. I don't know if we're getting closer to it or what, but it looks like a rotating light around it, like a Frisbee type thing that's going around it. As the pilot and his co-pilot observed what they saw, he radioed Cleveland Air Traffic Control, and asked if the controller had anything near that position on his radar. To the surprise of the cabin crew, air traffic had nothing on their screen. A few minutes later, the pilot of Mesaba Airlines Flight 3179, who had also been keeping an eye on the radio communications, reported the UFO sighting. Initially flashing white, the UFO soon displayed numerous colors, as it was observed by the pilots. Additionally, Aircraft 5959 informed the tower controller that the UFO was about 10 miles away and several thousand feet below. Confused by what the pilots were reporting, Cleveland air traffic operators suggested that, perhaps what the crews had observed was a reflection of a landing beacon or something similar. However, the pilots of both planes reported that the light they were observing was a distinct source and not a landing beacon. In an attempt to contact the UFO, Mesaba 3179 attempted to blink its lights, but the object did not respond. With a clear sense of confusion coming from both the pilots and the tower, air traffic proceeded to ask whether any of the passengers on board had a camera. They were also asked whether they would be willing to photograph the object. Luckily, a passenger on board Mesaba Airlines Flight 3179 was able to photograph the UFO. I mean, we can see a clear, relatively solid cloud deck below us, and this is definitely distinct whitish. Well, now it's looking a little red and greenish white, sort of pulsating light, and it's constant. It's not a beacon. The fate of the photographs, as well as the objects seen by two aircraft on February 28, 1996, remain mysteries, but there is the audio recording between the pilots and air traffic.